Big question. What are the key components of civic education? After their introduction to civic education, Amina and her friends were eager to learn more about its key components. Mrs. Arde Barrier welcomed them back to class with the same enthusiasm. Today, she began, we'll explore the four key components of civic education: nationality, rights and duties, democratic practices, and community values. First, let's talk about nationality, said Mrs. Arde Barrier. Nationality is about belonging to a nation. It gives us a sense of identity and pride. She used a simple metaphor to explain. Think of nationality as a badge you wear. This badge shows you are part of a larger community called Nigeria, with its unique culture, history, and traditions. Tune raised his hand. So, nationality is like being part of a big family? Exactly, Tunde, said Mrs. Arne Barrier. Just like your family has its own customs and values, our nation has its own too. Being Nigerian means we share these customs and values. She continued, nationality helps us understand where we come from and our role in the world. It connects us to our past and guides us toward our future. To make it more relatable, she shared a story about a boy named Jide who felt proud of his nationality. Jide loved hearing stories about his ancestors. His grandfather often told him tales about their village's history and how their family played an important role in the community. One day, Jide's school organized a cultural day where students were encouraged to wear traditional attire and share stories about their heritage. Jide wore his agbada proudly and shared the stories he had learned from his grandfather. His classmates listened intently, and Jide felt a deep sense of pride in his nationality. He realized that being Nigerian connected him to a rich history and culture that he should cherish and preserve. Next, Mrs. Arde Barrier moved on to rights and duties. Rights are like gifts we receive as citizens. They include things like the right to education, the right to express our opinions, and the right to be treated fairly. She then explained duties using a simple metaphor. Duties are like chores we do at home. They are responsibilities we have to take care of our rights. For example, it's our duty to attend school regularly and respect others' rights. Fatima asked, what happens if we don't do our duties? Good question, Fatima, replied Mrs. Arde Barrier. If we don't do our duties, our community and nation can suffer. For example, if no one follows traffic rules, there could be accidents. To illustrate this, she told a story about a girl named Aisha who learned the importance of fulfilling her duties. Aisha loved her school and community. She enjoyed playing with her friends and participating in community events. However, she often forgot to complete her chores at home and sometimes didn't follow the rules at school. One day, her teacher, Mr. Musa, explained the importance of duties. He compared duties to the foundation of a house. Without a strong foundation, a house cannot stand, he said. Similarly, without fulfilling our duties, our community cannot function well. Aisha realized that by neglecting her duties, she was affecting her family and community. She decided to change and started completing her chores and following the rules diligently. She soon noticed that her actions made a positive difference. Her family was happier, and her community events ran more smoothly. Aisha understood that fulfilling her duties was essential for a strong and happy community. Now, let's talk about democratic practices, continued Mrs. Arde Barrier. In a democracy, everyone has a voice. We make decisions together by voting and discussing. She used a simple metaphor to explain. Think of democratic practices like a game where everyone plays a part. We all have a chance to contribute and help decide the game's rules. Amina asked, how do we practice democracy in our daily lives? Mrs. Arde Barrier smiled. Great question, Amina. We practice democracy in school when we elect class leaders or decide on activities as a group. At home, we can discuss and decide on family matters together. To make this concept clearer, she shared a story about a boy named Chinidu who learned about democratic practices. Chinidu's class needed to choose a new class leader. Mr. Johnson, their teacher, explained that they would hold an election where everyone could vote for their preferred candidate. Chinidu was excited. He listened to each candidate's speech and thought carefully about who would be the best leader. On election day, he cast his vote along with his classmates. When the votes were counted, Chinidu's friend, Ifeoma, was elected as the new class leader. Chinedu felt proud knowing that his vote had made a difference. He realized that democratic practices allowed everyone to have a say and make important decisions together. Finally, Mrs. Arde Barrier discussed community values. Community values are the beliefs and principles that guide our behavior and interactions. They include honesty, kindness, respect, and cooperation. She explained using a simple metaphor. Think of community values as the glue that holds us together. Without these values, our community would fall apart. Tunda asked, "How do we show community values?" Mrs. Arde Barrier replied, "We show community values by treating others with kindness, being honest, respecting differences, and working together to solve problems." To illustrate this, she shared a story about a girl named Ngozi who embodied community values. Ngozi was known in her neighborhood for her kindness. She often helped her elderly neighbors with their chores and volunteered at the local community center. One day, a new family moved into the neighborhood. They were struggling to adjust to their new environment. Ngozi noticed this and decided to help. She welcomed them with a warm smile, introduced them to other neighbors, and helped their children settle into school. Ngozi's actions made the new family feel welcomed and supported. Her kindness and respect for others created a positive atmosphere in the community. Ngozi understood that community values were essential for a harmonious and supportive neighborhood. Mrs. Arde Barrier concluded, the key components of civic education, nationality, rights and duties, democratic practices, and community values, help us understand our roles and responsibilities. They guide us in being good citizens who contribute positively to our community and nation. Amina, Tunde, and Fatima felt inspired. They realized that civic education was more than just a subject. It was a way of life that could help them make a positive impact on their world.